Well, hello everybody, this is Jesus Quesadilla, and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft 2010. I'm so excited to have you guys back here watching me, and just decided I was going to unwind today with a little bit of Minecraft action for all of you to enjoy. So, on this episode we're going to be picking up right where we left off last time, so let's go ahead and jump back into our world. And first things first, you'll notice that I've made quite a few changes since the last time I've recorded. And that's because, well, it has actually been a while. I believe it's actually been like about a month or something like that since I made the last episode. And so in that time since the last episode, I've made a few additions to this world and kind of the area around here. So first thing I'd like to show off is sort of the changes I made to my house. So you'll see here, got some double doors put on, I put a new roof on, got some windows and such installed, so yeah, check that out. Then I'm just going to give you the kind of the grand tour around here. I remade the Garden of Eden from my last Let's Play of Minecraft, so that's back in action. It looks like everything's growing rather nicely. Just stuck some dirt and water here in the middle of the desert, and it looks like things are growing fine in spite of just it being this chunk of isolated land. And then over here I've got my work in progress. I got a nice little swimming pool here for you guys to enjoy. So yeah, pretty darn swank. And of course I got my cactuses, my cacti standing guard, and my pumpkins over there, and my floating treetops, which have not disappeared. But anyway, that should about bring you guys up to speed with where I am. Not too much else has changed, I think. So I decided that at the end of today that I just wanted to come home, play some Minecraft, and unwind. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I invite you guys to follow me and see what kind of stuff happens. It's been a while since I actually got a chance to play the game, so I'm going to have to relearn the controls all over again, but I think I'll pick it up quickly. But yeah, there's actually something I wanted to share with you guys today. If I can go ahead and start the video with a little topic or discussionary thing. Discussionary, is that even a word? I don't think it is. Now it is a word, because I've said it, so it is so. But I just got home from one of my classes at my university, which is an English class, and, ooh, I heard a sheep. There's a sheep. We don't really need your wool right now, though. But like I was saying, I got home from university not too long ago, and it was kind of interesting because I got to see a concept that got brought up in the class kind of play out in real life. And basically, right now in our university class, we are dissecting a couple different books and kind of analyzing the themes from them. One of those books is The Grapes of Wrath, which I actually read in high school, so this is the second time I'm reading it for school purposes. I've actually read it 3 times total. I read it once for fun. What? Reading for fun? I know, that's crazy, right? But so bear with me, I've read the book 3 times now. And one of the themes that got brought up in our class, or that's been brought up quite a few times, is this issue of authority and morality, and how the two kind of like conflict with one another. And so to put it simply, it seems like in that book, along with a lot of the other books we've been reading in that class, and as a sort of flaw with society in general, is that morality and authority figures kind of conflict with one another, in that what most people would find moral or kind of like the right thing to do stands in direct opposition of what the people in power are trying to accomplish. So if you guys haven't read the book, basically it's about the Dust Bowl era, so right around the 1920s, 1930s, when the stock market crash happened, the Great Depression happened, and then you had the Dust Bowl, which basically wiped out all crop growing in the western part of the United States. Actually, I think it was more like the Midwest, but anyway. So that's all going on. And what you see sort of in this type of situation where it's about survival of the fittest, really, is that all the people in power, all of the people with authority and with money and land, they don't really behave in a way that's exactly moral. And so we've been discussing this topic for a while, and you know, it's not something that I've really ever seen play out in my life necessarily. So I hear zombies. So anyway, where was I with that? So I've never really seen that sort of thing play out. I've never had a problem seeing the law as being moral. until after reading this book, and now I think I kind of start to notice some of the places in society where that happens. Like, on my way driving back home from the university, actually, just not too long ago, I ended up behind a police officer, and so I knew it was a police officer because he had the siren on his car, and he had it tagged and everything like that. Somebody actually told me in the comments, before I continue with my story, that you can throw bones at these guys to tame them, sort of, I guess. I would like to see that personally. I don't have any bones here on me right now, but if I get one, I'm going to try and make a note to come back and do that, because I would like to see that. I think it'd be nice to have a little companion, a pet. But so anyway, I ended up behind this officer, and you know, whatever. Not too big a deal, right? But I noticed that he's not really obeying the regulations of the road. And I don't know if you guys think that's lame or whatever, but I think that as an officer, if anything, that because he's a police officer, or she actually, I don't know if it was a guy or a girl, I didn't get that good a look because his or her windows were heavily tinted. And while I talk, I think I want to go ahead and venture down here, see what I can find. And there's not really too much. There's some sunlight. But, so I didn't really get a good look at him or her, but basically, he and or she was cutting people off in traffic, not using their turn signal, kind of just having general disregard for the safety of others on the road, cutting in front of lanes, just making these really weird switches, and definitely exceeding the speed limit. And I know officers are kind of given a little bit of leeway with that in terms of if they have to do something, but I'm pretty sure the rule is that they need to have their siren on in order for them to violate any speed regulations. And this particular officer did not have their siren on. They didn't seem to be going anywhere. And they just generally were not behaving in a way that I would have considered safe or in line with the law. And so the thing with that, though, is that, and I'm almost dying of hunger here, so I'm going to go ahead and chow down. The thing with that is that, is it really moral for these people in a higher position of power to more or less abuse it to get away with more than the average individual? Because the way I think of it is that they're almost supposed to be role models, really. If anything, they should be held to a higher standard of scrutiny. At least that's my opinion, but I just felt that that was really wrong. But it was really interesting how that happened right after my class, and how I kind of got to see more or less the concepts from our book playing out right in front of my eyes. I thought that was actually really, really nifty, although it was pretty much at the cost of this officer being a total jerk. And you know, now that I think about it, I'm able to relate it to a lot more things that previously I kind of ignored or I didn't really pay that much mind to, where, yeah, the law kind of does operate in a way that benefits a select few in society, and those select few are usually those with power or affluence or, you know, whatever, because really laws aren't constructed for average people. They're not constructed for you or for me. They're constructed for this upper echelon of society, this top tier that basically gets protected, and they can control the laws in a way that definitely isn't moral, because there are a lot of laws that are just not moral, and I feel very strongly that that's a pretty big faux pas that as a society we allow that to happen. Now, as for how we can correct it, because that's where our discussion went next, and I mean everybody in the class was just kind of like, I don't know, what do you really do in that situation? But yeah, I know this is a little bit more, I don't know, it's a little heavier than the normal things I talk about when I'm playing Minecraft, but it was just weighing heavily on my mind, because it really just happened. I was one of the people that got cut off by the officer, so, you know, I was pretty miffed by that. I don't know, so maybe I'm just holding a grudge. Maybe that's all it is. I'm just kind of making up all this other crap to, sort of justify my whining and bitching. Let's go ahead and take care of this guy. You want to explode for me?